The Real Estate Photography Podcast is brought to you by tourbuzz.net, high-definition virtual tour and photograph hosting, now with interactive floor plans. Sign up for your free trial today. Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Photography Podcast with Mike Muriello. Today we have a post-production tip. We actually talked a little bit about lens corrections in a previous podcast, and someone asked on one of the comments of the podcasts, well, now that Lightroom 3 is available, why don't you just adjust the workflow and do all lens corrections prior to fusing the images together, and then you kind of avoid correcting them afterwards? Because if we remember afterwards, if you fuse images together, a lot of times metadata is lost for the focal lengths and the lens information that is stored in the CPU contacts, so you can't do one-click auto corrections, but you can do them prior to save a little bit of time. So as you can see, we have a couple of sets, three different sets of images, and I'll tell you what, we'll go into one of them here, and let's go into the develop module. And this is a tip about how to do it really quickly, by the way, in case I forgot to say that. Most people who look at this sort of image, and this is pre-fused, so this is one of 7. So if I go back out again, it's obviously one of 7. So this is the middle exposure. Anyone who normally looks at this is going to say, "Oh, looks great, no problem." But you and I both, we know that there's some lens distortion happening here, and all you got to do to get a fairly rough estimate of the correct lens is just click the Enable Profile Corrections in Lightroom, and it'll do pretty well. It's not perfect. In fact, it actually bloats out a little bit too much in this case, but it's a better starting point than this where everything's kind of pin-cushioned in. But here's the thing. Let's go ahead and say we had a large amount of photos. So let's say it's a 5-bedroom house, you know, kitchen, dining room, living room, all these different areas, and you didn't want to have to go ahead and go into each picture and say Enable Profile Corrections. That's going to be a little time consuming. So what you can do is, I'll go ahead and I'm just going to do this on the first 7, for example. We highlight 7. Because what we did was we created a preset, and all of a sudden I can say auto lens correction, and this little plus or minus sign, which means there's an adjustment made, is going to be made on all of them. So if I go into the develop module now, that will be checked by default, and you can see it's for in each and every exposure, which is really convenient for batch processing. Now you're probably wondering, how did you make that auto lens correction preset? All you do is hit plus on the preset. Well, first of all, you say, and you call it whatever you want. We're going to check none except for the lens corrections, and then you hit create, and there is your preset. And we can do the same thing for this kitchen, or let's just do it for all of them, and we're going to do auto lens correction, and it's going to process, and all of a sudden every single image, we'll go to the medium exposure so we can actually see what's going on. Every single image is going to have the profile corrections already made, so that's already checked, and it picks the right lens and the right profile. And I uncheck it, it fixes a little bit of the imperfections in the lens. So that's a quick and easy way to do it before you fuse the images together. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good one.